So episode 5 of Gamify 24/7. How's everyone doing?
Awesome.
Not dead.
Yeah, I feel quite
That's
like
always
that
good.
too.
Well, that's better than dead, Anton. Let's be honest.
Very true,
Of the
very
two,
true.
that's the preferable one. Okay, so before we get started and get into all our juicy topics of the week, we're wanting to just re-mention or revisit what we said briefly at the end of last week's podcast, or you did, Shaun, about competition. Shaun, what's the plan?
Competition time. Well, we've got the Google Cardboard, and we've got one to give away to anyone that leaves a review on either iTunes or SoundCloud, or anyone that leaves us a rating, but preferably a review, just to get the message out there, let people know about the podcast itself, and yeah, we'll choose a winner from that. So we've got a couple of people who have left reviews so far, left us a rating, but the more the merrier, and we'll do a draw, I presume, in the next time we do the podcast next week or something, yeah?
Yes, and you can join the VR revolution.
Yes, exactly.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's not quite as good as like the PlayStation VR or the Vive or something, but you know, this is what we got the first thing, and I give you a little bit of an insight what potential is there.
I think it's the best way to just watch YouTube now.
Really?
Well, for 360 videos, obviously.
Yeah, I was like, what are you watching, Anton?
I've had a go of one of the cardboard ones before, and it's really cool. I mean, it's as you say, it's a good tester or a taste of what is possible. So it just makes me want to try some of the big VRs properly, and give it a go. But I'm not there yet, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Were we going to include people that have already left reviews? Will we include them in the competition? Or
whoever's in there already, anyone that's left anything at all, we'll just join them all in and stuff like that, and it'll give us a nice pool of people to choose from.
Okay, so leave a review by this time next week. So we're looking at by Tuesday evening, say, next week, which is like the 4th or the 5th of December, something like that.
Yeah.
And make sure you've left a review for us. You can leave a bad review if you don't like, that's fine. We'll still put you in the competition. We prefer if you left a good one, but,
Just cry.
As long as the bad review's got 5 stars.
yeah, leave a terrible review but 5 stars. That's fine. This week, a few things to talk about. First of all, it was Black Friday just a few days ago.
Black Friday.
Capitalism. Yummy.
This is our second year now, isn't it? Black Friday.
I feel like it's maybe like 3 years.
Is it 3 years?
Yeah,
it's 3 years
I feel
now.
like
Yeah.
I feel like it's 3 years. Yeah.
Well, there's a magazine I get, right, for the studio called MCV, and it's an industry magazine. I still get it, they still send it to me, keep sending it to me, but anyway, they send it to me. It's from Future Publishing, and I used to get it because I used to run an import website where I used to sell video games from Japan and America, and so they used to send me this magazine to tell me what stuff was going on. Anyway, I still get this magazine, and one of the things they were talking about was the impact that Black Friday's had on games publishers. Like I know you're going to mention some of this stuff as well, Anton. But the big sort of takeaway from it was that it's impacted sales massively for a lot of game publishers and developers, because people are now holding back when normally a typical game, say something like they just came out, I'm trying to think, like a Call of Duty game or something, just came out, and instead of getting massive sales at this time of the year, everyone's held back. So they're waiting 2 or 3 weeks till the Black Friday weekend, and then they're buying it at a massively discount price. So it's had major impact on these game developers in a negative way, and I'm not really that keen on it myself. I've kind of felt like the brunt of it just even recently after getting the PlayStation 4 Pro and buying some games for that, where I feel like I've been scammed. I got it for the studio to do the unboxing and the video on it, and I've been enjoying it, but already there's savings of about £60 to £100 where people are buying the console and getting 2 or 3 games with it. It's like, oh my god, man, I wish I'd just waited now.
Interestingly, on that, Sony had their best week of console sales since the launch in 2013, and they reckon that's all because of Black Friday. Something like, what was the figure? 50,000 more than the Xbox One. PlayStation had a really, you could say, as you say, a really good Black Friday, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's been good for sales generally.
Is that bigger sales just for Sony? Is it just benefiting Sony as the hardware manufacturer and is negatively impacting the developers? it's like, it makes me think that Sony's getting all the benefit from this, selling loads more consoles, but it's the guys making the games, the ones that are putting 3 or 4 years into a game, that are then getting wiped out almost instantly, because of that period, and having to sell games at half price.
It's a very interesting time right now, because we're looking at, like, for instance, we look at game figures, and it's like, oh, this game sold 5 million units. Now we're at the point of, they sold 5 million units, but 4 million of those were at half price. Like, look at Doom. It's like, oh, Doom sold incredible, but it's like, at the same time, it's like, but they've had to sell it at half price what their predecessors went off.
What kind of markup are developers getting when they're selling a game? What's the kind of the cut-off point from what it costs them to produce a game and then what they sell it for?
I'll be honest, I don't know what is in this day and age. My brother used to work for Rockstar and he worked for Rare. And a long time ago when he worked for Rare, he was working on Donkey Kong Country Color, I think it was. And when he worked for Rare, the actual developer got $1 for every pre-order that was made for the game. So they only got $1, and then the rest went to like the marketing, the publisher, the retail units and everything. So, and I think the game itself for like $30 or something. So they were getting a tiny fraction. I don't know what developers are getting nowadays, but for actual retail versions of games, they're probably making virtually nothing on that. So when they're selling a game at £20, like I know when I used to sell the import games, I used to sell UK games as well, as I used to buy from the distributor. I'd buy a game, let's say a brand new game, for £25, and there was places like Tesco were selling that game for £22. So you were taking a loss from a distributor, which was crazy.
Yeah, sounds like the music industry. And on that point, is the future then, and I'll ask Kat this, is the future then for them to fix the price of online purchases, to get it to a point where you actually are paying less to get something and download it direct to your PlayStation 4 or your Xbox One or whatever, rather than having to go out and buy the physical copy? Because surely there's more of a markup potential in downloads because there's less in the packaging and all the rest of it. And for us, you get less of a product, really, because you don't have the collector's element to it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good idea. I thought that was the whole point, actually, kind of online sales of downloadable games, that it would be cheaper for you because you wouldn't be paying for like a shop to have staff to sell you the game, and the packaging, which also is better for the environment, but I like a game in a box, it's my preference.
Yeah.
But if a game is much cheaper on the PlayStation Store than it would be for me to walk into town and buy it, I will just download it because I'm not made of money. So yeah. I would definitely rather that they did that, to be honest, and if it gave the developers and everybody else a better deal because there was less kind of being spent on all the surplus, then that would be really, really cool. I think we should do it.
Because that's the thing, isn't it? Generally, if you're buying a game, you just want to get the game, but there are those games that you want to collect. I mean, when you want to get the collector's edition of Dishonored 2, for example, you go out and buy it. Little nod to Kat there. And that's the whole point of it, is that there are certain titles or certain genres even, or a series of games that you're going to collect. But other than that, if I'm buying something and I see it at 2/3 of the price online, I'm going to go for the online download. The problem is we're not seeing that, and it's amazing to think that we're now how many years into downloadable games and we're still not seeing the prices evening out to a point where it makes sense.
Yeah, well, what's crazy, you look at Steam, look at how well Steam's done. It's the biggest online marketplace for digital content. Valve basically came in there, destroyed the market with that sense. And look at what happens every year with Steam. You've got massive sales, games for £5 and stuff like that, £2 and everything, and their games are way cheaper. Even PC games in general, compared to console games, are always cheaper. And it's exactly that thing you're saying, Michael. It's, you've got a game there, sell it for like 2/3 of the price or whatever, sell it instead of like £40 in the shops, it's £25 on digital. People get the digital version, that's all they get. You sacrifice like being able to trade in your game, getting exclusive content or bonus stuff with it. And then the retail version, you're expected to pay a premium for that because you're getting the bonus content, you're getting to keep the physical version. It just makes total sense. But yeah, these companies, it's like, to me, it's always been this greed by the industry, and I think it's going to come back and bite them in the ass. It always does, because people eventually get this buyer's apathy towards these companies. They get fed up with the constant pre-orders where you get screwed over and it's not really worth the sort of time, or it's a limited edition but then there's 5 million in it, it's not really a limited edition. So I think these things all end up coming back and people get fed up with it. So
I think the problem right now is we're at a turning we're like slowly hitting this turning point of where developers are actually having to charge more for games, because obviously they're going up in price to develop, but on the other side, the prices have stayed the same for like the past like maybe 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
But games are going up in price, inflation's going up in price, and in countries like ourselves, we've had the Brexit, and yet prices of games are staying the same.
Yeah.
So I think the thing is, the reason digital distribution hasn't been able to take over, at least in the console space, is just primarily due to that idea of, we can't put our prices down, we're losing money.
I don't actually have a problem with paying more for a game where there is obvious replay value. You know, when you've got a game that you're going to come back to, there's DLC potential. I would happily pay more than you do get deals for game. I mean, you get some games within 2 weeks and you can pick them up for 30 quid, you know, and that I do completely understand and would happily support the titles that need to charge more for that. I think the problem for me is that there's this discord with downloading digital versions and the physical copy, and I think we're kind of the wrong way around at the moment. And as you say, Anton, maybe there needs to be a readdress of the way things are working generally with pricing in order to sort that out. Maybe it does mean that we have to pay more for the physical copy, and maybe the digital stays the same, but that means it's cheaper, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, Titanfall 2 and Dishonored 2 both had lower than expected sales with Black Friday. Battlefield 1, FIFA 17 and Pokemon Sun and Moon did really, really well. Obviously, Black Friday didn't really affect Pokemon Sun and Moon because, you know, they weren't doing many Black Friday sales for that, but it was a huge launch and it was the most successful ever UK launch week for a Nintendo game. So big prizes for them.
Pokemon always does it. Does it.
Especially after Go, like people are just like,
hyped
what is
for
a Pokemon?
Yeah.
They've been making these on Nintendos? What? Tell me about it. Oh, give me.
Well, the little cartoon online's probably helped as well. I think a lot of people have been liking that.
Right.
Okay, I need a link for that. I haven't seen any of that, so this is where I play catch up. Right. Okay. Here, this brings me nicely on. Then, did any of you get sucked in by the Black Friday deals?
Yes, I have bought all of the greatest video games from the decades, like. The Your-Shape Fitness Evolved for Wii U, 2013, gold, classic, the best, unbeatable. Other games, not good.
What?
Besides, Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, everybody's favourite.
He actually bought it though.
Okay, admittedly, it was a really good deal. It was like £10 new, and I got 2 Amiibos, and those Amiibos are not my friends. Yeah.
That's actually pretty good. I may buy it.
Yeah, I was just like, these will look pretty on my shelf.
I was like, did you buy that Amiibo thing? And he was like, yes. And I was just like, oh my god.
Wait, Nintendo are goddamn geniuses, man. Geniuses. We're talking about it. You've bought it.
Yeah.
I might get it now.
It's like, hey, we've made this game, fantastic Amiibos!
They must be pretty good, because I made one purchase on Black Friday. I'm going to show you it, and I'm not sure what kind of response this is going to get, because I think this is controversial.
Can we guess?
I'm waiting.
We obviously know what it is then. It's Overwatch or something.
No.
That's not controversial.
No.
What do you buy then?
Is it hardware or software?
Hardware.
Oh.
A Sega Dreamcast?
No, that's on the list. the never-ending list.
So it was a Black Friday deal?
It's a Black Friday deal, and I probably wouldn't have gone for this version of what I bought, but the Black Friday deal convinced me, and because it's not something I would have ordinarily bought, but it was a good price.
I have an idea.
PlayStation 4 Pro?
2DS.
No. What did you say, Anton?
2DS.
Yeah, 2DS.
That was a joke! Oh my god, I'm sorry!
Told you it was controversial, but I got a 2DS. And the great thing is it's indestructible, so I can throw it against a brick wall when I lose the plot with every game that I play, which is every game that I play. No, this is the special edition Super Mario Bros. 2 2DS, and I bought this and I got it for 65 quid in the end.
And it comes with a game, doesn't it? Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers, and also a 4 gig memory card. So I think that's a win all round for me.
Yeah, and that's actually quite a good deal, because like Super Mario Bros. 2 is still like a £30 game, and I won't lie, I've been eyeing up that bundle too, because I'm like, you're pretty much getting a 2DS for £50, and
yeah,
they're very comfy in your hands, or at least I think they are.
So that was kind of the point with it, was that I think that the design, whilst doesn't look the best, actually to play is pretty cool. And I used to love the DS. I've always fancied getting a 3DS, but it's never been a big enough pool that I've wanted to go and spend a lot of money on it. So for me, this was ideal. I can pick up a few games that I'd like to play. I can delve into Pokemon a bit more, perhaps at some point. My brother was here at the weekend and spent all weekend playing one of the two new ones. I don't know which one, and it means I can kind of have a bit of a taster. And if I love it, then maybe I'll progress. But 2DS is great for me. So that was my Black Friday deal.
Oh, well done.
Yourself, Kat?
Well,
no.
You want nothing at all?
I don't get anything. No, because I've got so many games that I've not even started, and I do this whenever there's a sale on PlayStation. I'll be like, oh, it's only £5. I better just get it now before the deal's done. And then it'll be on sale again the next one. There's like a sale every day on the PlayStation Store. I'm just an idiot. So I don't have time to play them all. And
Don't be so harsh on yourself.
I know, I am being quite hard on myself. No, I've got loads. I've got games for my birthday that I've still not even played.
I must admit, Kat, I'm exactly the same. When it comes to the PlayStation Store, I'm a complete sucker when it comes to buying whatever offer is on at the time. And then, as you say, you look again in 3 days and you're like, it's a better offer. I should have waited. Oh, well, never mind.
Exactly. So I knew that would happen with this. It'd just be the same games. They're always on sale. Maybe it isn't. I haven't even looked. I'm not doing it. It's done. It's over. And I have to buy people presents. I can't do it for myself.
One game that's been getting rave reviews is Dishonored 2. Now, Kat, have you had a chance this week to delve into the world?
I haven't. Do you know that? I could have at the weekend, but it kept being like I wanted the moment to be perfect. It sounds really, really sad, but I was like, I need to be at maximum concentration level for this. Not because I'm like, I'm going to be really rubbish at it, I need to concentrate. Just because I've been waiting for this for so long, and I'm like, I want the moment to not be just like, I've gone like, I'll have half an hour before I go to sleep, so I might as well just start it, because no, that's not what you need to do.
I'm completely the same. I've had Undertale since it came out. I'm like, this one's got some reputation. I need to sit in, get in the zone. This needs to be a true moment, Undertale moment.
I'll back you up with that for Undertale though, because I love Undertale, and you really need to be in there, the zone of gonna laugh and cry.
And as well as that, with a game that you're really anticipating, you just want to get you just want to have time for it. You don't want to be sitting there I've got 10 minutes, I guess I can get around in.
I'm going to have to go to bed in half an hour, but I'll do the first bit. And it's like, no, because then next time I come back, I'll be like, what did I do
That's
before?
life, That's life.
I know, and there's never a perfect moment and stuff. I'm just kind of waiting for myself to have a couple of hours at least to just...
There is a bit of a lack, I think, of pick up and play type games that you can pick up have a go for half an hour and then sort of say, that's fine, that's all I need. I mean, there are lots of, I think there's a lot of indie titles that you can do that with, but I think less so the big, the AAA kind of titles. As you say, you do need to sit down and be in the zone and know that you've got plenty of time, and I can completely understand that. And I think it gets harder when you get busier and when more things in your life take over. I wonder if I'll ever get to play any of the games that I've bought in the last 6 months. I
don't ever see myself finishing all the games I own. I've still got some from Christmas last year in the wrapping. I think is it Divinity? Original Sin? Has anyone played that? It's an RPG. I don't know. I've got it in the wrapping still. Not played it. Seen that in the sales a few times as well, by the way. So... yeah, I need some
VR
time.
is good for that, by the way. VR is good because a lot of that stuff is just short bursts. It's half an hour, and you can sort of play through the whole thing. So you do get short bursts, and it works well for not making you feel ill anyway as well. Sorry, I was going to say when Kat was saying about Dishonored too, I had images of Kat just sitting there with her mask on, just like this. I'm just waiting for the right moment.
Waiting for the moment. I need to get into Corvo's head.
You're your finger put up in the air. It's the wind is right.
Exactly.
This is the moment.
I'm waiting for that moment for it.
I think competitive shooters are really good for them because it's literally a confined amount. So you go in, it's I have 10 minutes to spare.
I will play 2 matches or something like that.
How many people can I murder in 10 minutes?
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice activity before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
One of my favourite games to do that with was Call of Duty on the Wii U of all consoles, because it's I could just take the gamepad, lie in bed, get 10 minutes in, go to sleep, and it was like, that's my gaming fix for the day.
Yeah.
Sometimes the online games actually provide the quickest fix for being able to fit something in a short space of time. The one that I love is Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare, and was that the second or the first one? Either way, both of those are great titles for just jumping in and having a go and then leaving it. That's probably my pick up and play. And FIFA, but then Anton, as you say, I know you're not a sports ball fan, so
I love sports ball. What are you saying? Bowling, the best. I can get all the home ones.
Kick some goals and all that. Right, listen, there's some interesting news this week. Peter Molyneux said that he does want to make Fable 4.
The guy says he's God as well. I don't know what
Peter Molyneux can say whatever he
Mm.
wants, I think, and get away with it, and it's fine.
I'll give him his dues. The guy's obviously a legendary designer, but I think he's far too many times he's spouted off this amazing stuff. It's never really quite lived up to it.
Do you remember Fable 2? All the hype for Fable 2. Choices, so many choices. That's all he talks about.
Since Black and White, was it Populous that he did as well? Or it was one of those ones. But since then, he's never really kind of lived up to what he said he's going to do. I think he's always bitten off a bit more than he can chew. And I think he's better off behind the scenes working and stuff. When he goes on the front line and starts talking to press, it's like he needs to just shut his mouth, man. The guy's just terrible. He just oversells things and under-delivers all the time.
Can you really see it happening? I mean, Lionhead, obviously, they're no more. So do you think there's anything behind this? Do you think this is going to happen, or do you think this is just more?
Listen, like Fable, his name alone, the IP, as a cash cow, it's like people will just be loving that. If he says he's making it, Microsoft or whoever wants to take it on, someone will fund the IP.
Definitely would do.
And we'll just chuck money at it, because if they can get a Fable 4 on something like the Xbox One or Project Scorpio, or Scorpio even as a launch game, and Molyneux is making it or something like that, they'll be all over that. That's one of these games that will just draw people in. They'll love that kind of stuff. And even like Molyneux, like sort of fans or aficionados or whatever, they'll come in, they'll be all over it, man. So it's getting made. It's getting made.
It definitely will, definitely.
The tin cans are out of the bag. Get it? Because his company was called Tin Cans.
Oh my god!
Every week. So moving on.
To not make it, basically, they would be absolute fools to not do it, because they'd have people like me who loved Fable.
Yeah.
I loved the original one anyway. The other two were a bit not as good, but I still really, really like them. They're so funny, and it's like so nice for an RPG to just not take itself seriously, but still be quite serious. Like, you still get that out of it too. It's really, really fun.
I think the thing to look at is what stopped Fable Legends from happening. Because it's like, Fable Legends, they were developing that for years, or hyping it up, but somehow that game didn't click. So I'm wondering, will that have effect on whether or not there's a Fable? So I think if that game never existed, Fable 4, sure.
I feel like they're different though. Like, I'm a big Fable fan, but I didn't care about that one at all. I think, was that the one that was to do with Kinect, or was that a different one?
There was definitely a different one. There were two. There was a Kinect one, and then there's the one that was online. I think you could.
See, that all just made me not want to do it, and I'll have zoned out, and I wouldn't have paid any more attention to it. I think that's probably what a lot of people, as soon as they saw it wasn't a sequel, or it wasn't going to be the same kind of format as the other Fable games, they'll just have gone on it. And not up for it. But I think if they'd said Fable 4, here it's coming, here's the hero again, and you're gonna do all this fun stuff, then I think everyone would be well into it. They should do some kind of prequel to the first one.
Well, saying that, you know what I mean? It's like, what is the industry well known for right now? Reboots or re-origin stories, same with the film stuff. If he's got a French team, like obviously Lionhead's gone or whatever, if he comes in with a French team, says, right, we'll go back, we'll redevelop Fable 1, and we'll redo it with HD graphics and stuff, maybe to get people back into the sort of kind of thing, comes out with a HD version of it for, I don't know, whatever, the Xbox One S or Scorpio, then that's him back in the game. People will be all over it, and that'll fund Fable 4.
Yeah, so we think it's going to happen eventually in some form or another, perhaps, but we don't know if it's going to be any good and who's going to be behind it. So basically what he was saying was pretty much he could have said anything and it meant nothing.
My name is Peter Molyneux. Games made. Funded.
Yeah. All right, so just a very quick look. We're going to move on to the retro feature in a moment, but before that, just a couple of games that are out this week. And it's PlayStation 4 seems to be where most of the action is. And Batman the Telltale series, Episode 4 has now appeared on the... Well, if you've got the game, you've got the Season Pass, I think that just automatically you get the download. Otherwise, you can purchase them individually. I've played the first episode and really enjoyed it. A little bit different for a Telltale series game, a bit more interaction. I like the Telltale stuff anyway, just for the story, and I really enjoyed the first episode of the Batman series. Anyone else had a go at that?
I've not, but I've thought about it. I used to be one of those ones that got the Telltale games as soon as they came out every time, and I'd be like, when's the next episode going to come out? Yeah. It stressed me right out. So I've decided with this one to just wait till they're all out, and then I'll just be like, I'll play it all in a one-hour.
When you find that perfect
with my
moment.
time. But yeah. So I really, really like Telltale games anyway. There hasn't been one that I've played that I've not liked. So, and I think I've only not played like 2 of them, and this is one of them. So I'm looking forward to it. How is it different, if I can ask, Michael, than the others?
It's still linear, because I think Telltale games tend to be, there's no real way around that. And I know that you have that kind of option at the end of each episode where you get some sort of option, but really it makes no difference to the storyline. There's still that element, but there's just that little bit more interaction in terms of what you're actually doing. So there's things where you actually have to, use a combination of buttons to actually achieve something, or, so it's just, there's more to do than other Telltale series games. It's not a huge diversion. It's just taken the really good bits of any Telltale game and added to them, in my opinion. I think it's a really good, or certainly episode 1. I haven't played 2, 3, 4 yet. But like you, after playing 1, I was really stressed out about the fact that I had to wait for 2. So I've waited now, and I'll probably get a few together.
Wait for the whole thing to come out, and then it'll be much less stressful.
So that's out this week. And also on the PlayStation 4, there's Amnesia the collection, which is The Dark Descent, A Machine for Pigs, and Amnesia Justine. I don't know if any of you guys have played any of these. I haven't.
That'll be all over that. She loves her scary games.
Oh, well, I have been encouraged actually by people to get that, to play Amnesia for the channel, because obviously I did Soma last year, which is by the same developers, Insomnia. But, I don't know, guys. I've tried to watch other people's playthroughs of Amnesia before, just because I'd never played it. And everyone sort of has said that it's one of the scariest games ever. I think at the time it definitely was. But, it's so dark. That's the point, isn't it? It's meant to be dark. It's really, really dark. And that freaks me out. And
Give it 6 months and you could be playing the VR version of that.
Oh, God. Don't even... Just to divert a sec, is Resident Evil Biohazard out in January? Is that still happening?
I honestly do not know the date.
Not sure.
I'm trying to get hyped for it, and I felt like it was maybe meant to be January. Just when we mentioned VR there, I was like,
VR version.
I'm just hyped to get hold of VR, but I'm holding off from being sensible. I'm being good. Starfleet, whatever it is, isn't out until March, so we're good. And then finally, there's a game on the PlayStation 4 called Laser Disco Defenders. Anyone know anything about this one?
No, but it sounds cool.
Yeah, I was just
it sounds great, doesn't it?
I don't know what it is, but I want it. It has a title like that. I will buy it.
Okay. Let me read you the description, and you're going to want this even more. So it's time to join the Laser Disco Defenders on their quest to defeat the evil Lord Monotone. In this colourfully crazy adventure, you'll be bounding off the walls in randomly generated levels as you face off against a variety of robot assassins. How good does that sound?
Sounds like a normal day at work for me.
Sounds very good. Is it a platform, or is there some kind of rhythm element because of the disco part here? I would love it if it was a rhythm game.
You know what? Pass. I have absolutely no idea. I literally have the description, but it just sounds. It's a great description. I love the idea of Lord Monotone. That just works for me. Really, really
Lord
good.
Monotone.
Yeah. Okay, right, retro section then, and this week we're all the way back, and it's Shaun again. It's have you got anything else, or did you not play very much as a kid? Was it just Shenmue all the way?
Just Shenmue the whole time. Well, I have got a game. This is one of the games when I was I must have been about 13 years old, and I had my Mega Drive, and Streets of Rage 2.
Oh, good shout. Good shout.
One of my favourite games when I was a kid. I was telling Anton about this earlier. I was kind of going back and forth between a couple of different games. But Streets of Rage 2, I can recall getting it for the Mega Drive. And I remember I played through it. I can't remember if I completed it, but I remember playing through it, and then I traded it with some guy at school, and I traded it for Sonic 3 or something like that. It was like one of the worst ones. And I was so gutted. I was like, oh my god, man, I can't believe I traded that in. I was so annoyed at myself. But the standard bit, Streets of Rage 2, in case you don't know, it's an old game. It was on Sega Mega Drive. It's been re-released for the PlayStation Store, I think, and stuff like that, or PlayStation Network. It was also in the arcades, apparently. But anyway, it was made by Ancient, the developer. It was called Ancient. And the producer was Noriyoshi Oba. It was a side-scroller game, beat 'em up. And the music in it was amazing. If you go and check it on YouTube, just search in for Streets of Rage 2, listen to the soundtrack, it's phenomenal. It was one of the first games, I remember it came out, and it was like, I don't know what you call it, but anyway, it was like a kind of multi-channeled soundtrack, and it was incredible. There was bits where the rain came down, and the beat kicked in, and you had Axel was like the main character, and he had like a fire uppercut that was awesome. It was like a sort of kind of Shuriken from Street Fighter or something. Is that the right one? Shuriken? Which one's the one that's the uppercut? Anyway, it was like that. Right. Yeah, it was like Ken's fireball. And then it introduced a couple of different characters. You had Skate, you had a couple of other ones, I forgot their names now. But you had all these different characters in it. So it kind of just opened it up, had all these really cool levels. It was kind of released at a time when side-scrollers were hitting their peak with Shinobi 3, all these kind of hand-drawn animated games. The animations were really cool. Yeah, it was just really, really amazing. It was like one of the sort of kind of showcase games on the Mega Drive. So I can always recall that, and I think I'll go back and play it after playing this or talking about it. But it's leading on for that. Sorry, one of the guys that he's working on a couple of games. He's done a game called 90s Arcade Racer. It's been delayed now. But he also worked on another game. I forgot what it's called now. But he's on Steam Greenlight or Greenlit, whatever it's called. And he's done like a beat 'em up that's based on Streets of Rage 2 and 3 and stuff, and it's so cool. But he's done it all with really fancy graphics. So go and check that. But I forgot what it's called now. But anyway.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I was just going to say how much fun as a social game Streets of Rage was, because you could play it with a friend and kind of work together to get through stages, and it was kind of. I remember Double Dragon in the arcades, and then that became a title on the Spectrum, and then Streets of Rage kind of took what Double Dragon did and just made it much better, really. You know, it was a great game, and a lot of fun to play with a friend, as you said, and a great arcade title too. Interestingly, you said how much you loved the Streets of Rage soundtrack. Streets of Rage 2. And you traded it for Sonic 3, which of course the soundtrack was done by who?
Was it the same guy?
No? Michael Jackson, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, you know, you traded a piece of Michael Jackson history, and not history, his greatest hits album called History, but Michael Jackson history for a piece of music that you preferred in a game, which was Streets of Rage 2. So there we go. So Streets of Rage beats Michael Jackson.
I swapped it the other way. I swapped Streets of Rage 2 for the Sonic game.
So you regretted it. You regretted it.
I did that. It wasn't as good as Moonwalker. So.
Oh man, that is a game and a half. I've revisited that about a year ago, and it's something. It's something. Right, before we finish up, then, gaming plans. What's the next game that you plan to play, and when do you plan to play it? I'm going to start with. You're like, oh no, I don't know. Anton.
The one with the buttons in the video games and the noises. Oh God. Let's just say Zelda. Yeah, that's a video game.
Great. Let's go with that. I'm not that I'm putting you on the spot. Shaun.
Last Guardian. In about a week and a half time or whatever on PlayStation 4. We're going to be doing that here in SmallFryUnify. Me and Connor's going to be bringing it in, playing it, and they'll be taking it away and finishing it. So, yep, Last Guardian. 10 years in the making, people. We might shed some tears, possibly.
Love it. Kat?
I want to obviously say Dishonored 2.
We want you to say Dishonored 2.
Within the next few days. But if not, if for whatever reason I don't find the right moment, as I've been doing, then I am currently playing Zero Time Dilemma on the Vita.
You have a Zero Time Dilemma.
I really do. It's a very apt game for me to be playing. It's also one of those ones that's really, really difficult to keep dropping in and out of, because they talk. It's like a visual novel, escape the room type game, and you really, really need to be paying attention to what's happening. So, but I am playing that. Hopefully that I'll carry on with that one and maybe finish it eventually.
Probably the 2DS for me, just because you know. So
Yes.
that's my week sorted. Okay, before we finish up, just remind everyone of your YouTube channels, of the other stuff that you guys do as well. It'd be a good time. I think we mentioned this in week 1, but we haven't really mentioned it again. So I think it'd be good just if people want to check out what you guys are doing online.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I've spoken. Darn, I need to speak. Yes, I do a channel called DevMasterX7. Yes, I regret the name too. I also do a show called Vlogicino. It's an over-the-top show with crazy editing and a lot of self-depreciating jokes. That's coming back on the 10th of December. Sorry, I'm doing a reboot of the channel. Coming back with more episodes. They're going to be shorter, faster, coming out. And also in 2017, there's also going to be the Gamify 24/7 video podcast, and surprisingly, that wasn't actually a planned thing. So yeah, that's coming out, and it's going to hopefully be, if I don't fail, the most impressive show I've done so far. It's going to have multiple cameras, and us four. Yay.
It's just some footage in multiple cameras, that's all it is.
Yeah, they're all pointing at each other. It's like Inception.
But should I actually do it? Just get the cameras and put faces on top of the cameras, and that's each person?
Yeah, we just
Like
get
podcast
sticks,
portal.
get popsicle sticks with our pictures of our faces on it. Hey there, how's it going?
Cool. Kat, you want to go next? Or me, or?
Well, my channel is WaspsandCakes, so it's just youtube.com/WaspsandCakes, all one word. I haven't actually done a video in a while since the last time I said I hadn't done a video in a while. I still haven't done one, but I swear I will.
Convince her.
I really am going to do that. I've started multitasking by eating dinner in the bath to save time, so I feel like I should have some time to edit a video at least soon-ish. Before the end of the year, we'll give myself that long.
We're starting to get more of a picture of the cat here. She sits with her mask on in the bath with a bunch of noodles
lasagna.
in the bath, waiting for that right moment to play the game.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I do in my life, so that's my life.
I've got the channel on YouTube and Twitch and everything. We do live streams, gaming from here a couple of times a week now. I've stopped doing the vlogs just because I'm giving myself a bit more time to do other things. Whilst I'm working the job, I didn't have time to do everything, so kind of taking a little bit of a step back from some stuff. But yes, I've got the Games Lounge on YouTube and Twitch. SmallFryUnify, we're doing the tech videos, SmallFryTechify. They're on YouTube as well, so you can go and check that out. And that's it, just carry on with that stuff, and obviously the podcast with you guys. So
Great, all right.
What about you, Michael?
What are you doing?
It's all music related. You know, I keep all my gaming private, and then one day I'm going to reveal it all to the world in a huge long video that no one's going to watch. So, but you know, I'll give you something eventually, something music related, but not today. I'm saving that for another day. It's locked away.
I'll put him on the spot there. He's like, oh no.
No, don't ask me. Podcast. That's what I do. Podcast. Gamify 24/7. There we go. All right. Listen, I think that's it. Just a reminder again. Competition. Leave a review, and we'll throw all the reviews into the hat for the competition. We're going to announce a winner next week, and the prize is, Shaun.
Prizes, the Google Cardboard. We'll do some other prizes later on at some other time. We'll do regular things, choose some random stuff, and let us know if there's something you'd like to get us in a competition. We can maybe even contact some of the companies and tell them. So
please review for love. I'll send you boxes of my love in boxes. I'm lying, you'll get none of that, but you will get my love.
I think that's the perfect way to end the show. So for the love of Anton, that's been episode 5. Have a fantastic week. We'll be back next week.
Bye. Bye.